Yeah.
And I'm also doing something called the Panamerican Audio Educators Conference.
Is this the first time it's happening in Latin America? Well, Mexico, right?
Well, the Pan American Conference, Audio Educators Conference, has never happened anywhere. And lots of different online events, but we've never done this before. My goal is to get as many people speaking and weighing in with their opinions and their expertise, and then go off to the Soundcheck Expo and continue the conversation. So I think it's really about building community and exchanging ideas. The day before the Soundcheck Expo starts, which is Saturday, March 29, I am having about 150 professors come from places like Montreal and Toronto and New York and Boston and Indiana and Nashville. I have professors coming up from places like Buenos Aires and Montevideo and Lima and Quito and Bogota and Medellin. And I have lots of professors coming from all over Mexico. And we're going to cap it at 150, and we're running out of space pretty quickly. Another key component to this conference is the fact that we're going to have a lot of developers from different companies that are helping sponsor this, from some wonderful companies, and from Genelec and from Neumann and Sennheiser, from Eventide, from Better Maker, from AEA microphones, from Telefunken, I think I might have already said, 80K microphones, from OIC Sound. I'm just looking at a list here, from Dream Tonics, from SSL, from EQ Trainer, and some just wonderful developers who are going to be with us.
This is a great moment for this as an educator, teacher. It's a vital moment because we are welcoming new generations who in most cases are growing up with the apps, internet, and digital platforms.
Let's get started on our first thing. We're going to have a lot of really interesting events and topics of discussion. I don't know whether you saw it. Let's get started with the first one. Martha DeFrancisco, who is one of the smartest and kindest and has the loveliest voice I've ever heard.
My name is Mike Romanowski. I'm a mastering engineer, coast mastering in Berkeley, California. I've been making records for well over 30 years and got to work with some amazing folks along the way. Many of the folks in the room, and I do hear feedback. So I think one of the things that's super important is to be non-judgmental. If I'm listening for something, I don't want to listen to what it is. I'm trying to figure out how it is.
What's Tuve back in Norway. Most of my work is location recording, cathedrals, concert halls. I specialize in immersive formats.
But for example, for me, it has been an evolution. And I think it should be an evolution for everybody. We know what we know at the moment, approaching a very specific project or a very specific line of work, but we have to put things into context. And it happens to me a lot, bouncing from one style of music to another. I've done classical music, I've done opera. I work on a lot of pop music, even style of Lady Gaga, things like that, right? Completely different. I even done hip hop.
Things that I talk about music as a musician is that music for me has always been not styles. And to me, it's not styles. Music is dialects. It's like languages. And the more you can understand dialects of what the music presents, you will be a better listener. But I think it's very important as a producer or an engineer, understand the instrument and the musician, because a lot of musicians don't know what they sound like.
So many good friends here, beloved friends. So nice, because it's very, very important that you know. I mean, in my studio, the volume knob is always in the same position, exactly. We never touch it. We have to learn when I'm sounding too loud, or not too loud, or exactly where I want to sound. Without
maybe techniques and things that you've, I don't necessarily talk about techniques, but maybe things that you've learned along the way that have helped guide people's understanding of what music is.
Myself better. But yeah, the professors were so great, and I hope that I'm giving them something worthwhile to help teach what compression is.
We service a wide variety of audience. We're a part of the Pro Audio group in the United States, so we have a very small team. And specifically, I'm part of the tech support team for professional engineers, but of course, no one becomes professional before they go to school.
Kevin pretty much nailed it. So the headline, what you see is Sony and a $7.5 million arrangement, and but in earnest, it's a long-term relationship. So it's a 10-year thing.
I started in orchestral classical music at age 12. In that 1 year, I saw the Beatles on television. Paul McCartney, that gave me the idea that maybe this was what I wanted to do with my whole life. I had a chance to record in some good professional quality studios, and I began to get more interested in the equipment. I mean, honestly, who wants to spend all day hanging around with just a bunch of musicians, right? When you have all of those toys that you could learn how to use. After 1 week, I quit. I said, this is not the career for me. Sound, yes. In 1991, this is Rock in Rio, in Rio de Janeiro. Prince, Guns N' Roses, Billy Idol, George Michael, INXS. It's the world's largest soccer stadium, all over the world. Lots of different artists. It was one constant thing, and that was always mixing live sound and understanding the sound system. The knowledge I had gained from self-education in audio led me to JBL. I became the global vice president for Tour Sound.
It has started as this tiny little project. Laura Gibson couldn't be heard at South by Southwest, so Bob Boylan, whose desk it is, decided to say as a joke, hey, why don't you come to my desk the next time you're in Washington, D.C., because we could not hear you your entire performance, as a joke. She shows up in Washington, she says, I'm here for my Tiny Desk performance. So they said we might as well set up a microphone and a camera, and it was just born out of necessity. And now, huge artists are clamoring to do the Tiny Desk because they hear my mix of Anderson .Paak that feels very visceral and organic and spontaneous with a live audience. And there's something about the format of Tiny Desk, and now what I'm doing at Global Sound Concerts is Tiny Desk in reverse. I was hugely influenced by all the home concerts. If anyone saw any of the Tiny Desk home shows, C. Tangana was an amazing one in Spain. Mon Laferte from Chile did one in a Mexican church, pregnant, and they recorded it in the style that I sort of stole from my experience as an audio journalist, recording sounds in West Africa and Greece with Radio Expeditions, which was a collaboration between National Geographic and NPR.
I'm really happy that you're going to lead this discussion. Jorge has been doing this. This is the 21st time?
21st time, yes. Since 2003, we have done 21 exhibitions, physical, and 2 virtual in the COVID pandemic times.
And I gotta say, I always know that Jorge Urbano is gonna take care of everybody and make them feel really good. And this is what separates this incredible event, Soundcheck Expo, from the most incredible event. You're gonna go out and you're gonna see all kinds of stuff. I'm a big fan of Mikel Hernandez. He's a amazing guy, and it's always great to have him here. He adds a lot to the community of audio and makes it always wonderful to visit Mexico.